When I moved into that little house in Phoenix, I thought the smart doorbell made me safer. But the first time I checked the footage, I saw someone wearing my face standing on my porch. So don't skip this video, because if your doorbell ever lights up blue in the middle of the night, you might not be the one watching. This started about 8 months ago. I just moved into a small one-story rental house in North Phoenix. Quiet neighborhood, mid-range rent, exactly what I could afford after my divorce. The place had everything I needed. Central air, decent backyard, garage, even one of those smart doorbells already installed by the previous tenant. You know, the kind that records motion and sends clips straight to your phone. At first, I loved it. It made me feel safe living alone again. But now, I can't even bring myself to open the app because I don't want to see what it's been showing me. The house sat at the end of a cul-de-sac, surrounded by similar stucco homes baked pale yellow by the Arizona sun. My job let me work from home, graphic design freelance, so most days were uneventful. Wake up, coffee, laptop, silence. The heat kept people indoors. Evenings were quiet except for the sound of sprinklers and the occasional barking dog. That first month, I barely left the house. I didn't know any neighbors yet, and honestly, that's how I liked it. I'd had enough chaos in my last relationship. I wanted peace. The doorbell came with an app called Home Watch. It automatically connected to Wi-Fi, so whenever someone walked up to my door, it would send a short clip. I set notifications to smart alerts only. Supposedly, it could distinguish between people, animals, or cars. It worked fine for weeks, until it didn't. It was a Friday night, around 11:30. I was half asleep on the couch when my phone buzzed. Home Watch, motion detected, front door. No big deal. I figured it was a stray cat or a moth. Still, out of habit, I checked the clip. The thumbnail froze my blood. A figure stood just at the edge of the porch light, too far for facial detail, but close enough to see the shape of a person. They weren't moving, just standing there. I hit play. For about 20 seconds, nothing happened. The person didn't knock, didn't ring the bell, just swayed slightly, like they were breathing heavily. Then, right before the clip ended, they stepped forward, slowly, until their face filled the camera. And that's when I realized they were wearing my face. Or rather, a cheap plastic mask of my face. It wasn't perfect, off-color, shiny under the porch light, but it was unmistakably modeled after me. Same hairline, same faint beard shadow, same tired eyes. I dropped the phone. When I picked it up again, the live view showed an empty porch. No one there. I called the police immediately. An officer came within 20 minutes, a guy named Daniels. He checked the perimeter, reviewed the footage, and said could be a prank. Maybe someone used one of those 3D printers. He took a copy of the clip and told me to keep my porch light on and call if anything else happened. I barely slept that night. Every creak of the house made my stomach twist. But the next few days were quiet. Then Wednesday came, 1:42 a.m. Home Watch, motion detected, front door. Another clip. My heart pounded as I opened it. Empty porch. Except halfway through the clip, the camera glitched. Static. Then, for one frame, less than a second, I saw something. A reflection. The window beside the door showed a face peeking from inside the house. My house. I paused the clip, zoomed in. The reflection looked like me. Same hoodie I'd worn that day, same angle, same expression, except the eyes were wrong, staring directly at the camera, not at the reflection. I changed the locks the next morning, called a locksmith, added a deadbolt, even bought one of those smart alarm systems with motion sensors for every window. But it didn't help. The footage kept coming. Sometimes during the day, sometimes at night, always showing small things. Footsteps near the porch, shadows crossing the lands, the faint sound of whispering if I turned the volume up. Once, I caught a glimpse of that same mask again, hanging from my mailbox for a split second before falling out of frame. I deleted the app twice, but it kept reinstalling itself. Same icon, same login, as if it never left. I called HomeWatch customer service. The rep, a young woman with a shaky voice, said, "That's not possible. We don't auto-reinstall. Can you confirm your serial number?" I read it off the back of the device. She went quiet. "Sir, that model number isn't in our system. Are you sure it's one of ours? It's got your logo on it," I snapped. Another pause. "Sir, can you please remove the device from your property and contact law enforcement?" Before I could ask why, she hung up. I didn't remove it right away. Part of me wanted proof, something tangible to show I wasn't losing my mind. So I set up my phone to record my computer screen as I scrolled through the HomeWatch archive. Hundreds of clips, dates stretching back weeks before I'd even moved in. I clicked the earliest one, time-stamped 3 days before my lease started. It showed a man unloading boxes from a moving truck. Me. Only it wasn't. The man in the clip had my build, my same black jacket, but his face looked older, more tired, more familiar. He turned toward the camera for a split second. The same eyes, the same beard, same me. I slammed the laptop shut and ran outside. The doorbell light was on, glowing faint blue. I yanked it off the wall. It came loose easily, wires snapping with a small spark. Then I froze. Behind it wasn't drywall. It was a small lens, hidden deeper in the wall, angled toward the street. A second camera. The cops came again that night. Same officer, Daniels. He inspected the hole, wrote another report, and said, "Could be from the previous tenant. We'll run the footage forensics." I asked if they could check property records, find who lived here before me. He nodded, said he'd look into it. The next evening, I got a call. "Sir, you said you moved in mid-April, right?" "Yeah." "There's something weird. The last registered tenant, Mark Ellis, was found dead in that house 6 months ago. Suicide." I felt my stomach drop. "What?" "Gunshot, living room." "You didn't know?" "No. My landlord said the place was empty for months." Another pause. Daniels cleared his throat. "Sir, there's one more thing. We found something on his phone. Do you mind if I email you?" Minutes later, the email came through. A screenshot from a video. Same front porch, same doorbell view. And standing there, in the dark, was me, wearing that same black jacket. Except the date stamp read April 5th, 8 days before I moved in. I didn't know what to think. Maybe the landlord had reused the footage, maybe some sick prank. None of it made sense. I packed a bag and stayed at a hotel that night. But around 3 a.m., my phone buzzed again. HomeWatch, motion detected, front door. Even though I'd ripped the device off the wall, the preview image made my blood run cold. A dim hotel hallway, my hotel hallway. The camera was inside now. The clip played automatically. A man stood outside my door, face just out of frame, knocking once, twice, then leaning close to the peephole, whispering something I couldn't quite make out. I turned the sound all the way up. It wasn't words. It was breathing, slow, rhythmic, identical to mine. I looked at the live feed. It was black. Then, faintly, a voice, my voice, came through. "You're home." The clip ended. I left Phoenix the next morning. Didn't check out, didn't pack. I just drove. I called Daniels from the road. His line was disconnected. When I tried reaching the police department, they said no one by that name worked there. I called the landlord, same thing. The number had been disconnected. A few days later, I stopped at a rest area outside Flagstaff to catch my breath. My phone buzzed again. HomeWatch, new device connected. I didn't even open it, but I couldn't help but glancing at the preview. The image showed my car parked in that exact rest stop. the camera angle from behind. Someone had recorded me sitting there. Someone very close. I threw the phone into a trash bin and drove until the gas light came on. That was 6 months ago. I haven't stayed anywhere longer than a few weeks since. But sometimes, at night, I'll see a faint blue light blinking outside whatever motel I'm in, always pointing toward my door. And last week, I borrowed a stranger's phone to call my sister just to hear her voice again. Before dialing, I opened the camera by accident, front-facing, and for a second, just 1 second, I swear the person staring back wasn't me. The smile was wrong, too deliberate, and right behind it, reflected in the corner of the screen, a faint